So, Louis, how is Amy different to the rest of the market then?
Well, it's quite simple. Data, customer questions, and outcomes. So data. All around us is masses of data. All around Amy is the data held on a website. All the words, all the text, all the prices, all that data on a website. Amy can read that data or utilise that data so that she has the ability, using her own technology, her own NLP and NLU, natural language processing and natural language understanding, to interpret that data. But perhaps most importantly then, the customers are asking questions. They're putting their own data into Amy's application. And Amy's predicated first to understand the customer question and then to use the information, the data which she's read, to answer the customer's question. But then she has one other massive difference from the rest of chatbots or the rest of similar technologies on the market. She benchmarks herself against data. She benchmarks herself against outcomes. What does that mean? Customers want the repetitive calls, the repetitive text to be handled by Amy. Customers want to sell more. So those are two endpoints or data points which Amy can use to improve her answers for the customer. And that really is what makes Amy different from the rest of the market. Now that's a technology perspective, but Lian has a really interesting perspective when it comes to setting up a chatbot.
Very much so. So completely, it follows on directly from everything you've just said, actually, Louis. But the important thing from a customer perspective is Amy's ability to push and pull the information from any key data point that a client has. It could be an access database, it could be a CRM system, but by moving that information around in a conversational way, Amy's adding real value to the conversation. She's answering questions, going away and bringing information exactly like a human agent would in a contact centre.
So just tell me, have you ever tried to set up another chatbot?
I have.
Tell
I've tried
me,
to
detail.
Setting up another chatbot involved, for a very large organisation, involved 4 days of sitting in a room with most of the client team in that room, 4 days solid, trying to preempt every customer outcome and every customer question, and then having to preempt every possible answer. It created its own problems because as you go so far down the conversation, you can't get back up again through that conversation if you've gone down the wrong rabbit hole.
So 4 whole days?
4 whole days.
Is that it?
4 whole days that was just information gathering. So 4 days of information gathering, followed by weeks of building and testing and conversational analysis and attempting to make those conversations flow.
So what Lian's really saying is that the effort to set up a chatbot normally is huge. Days and weeks and months. In fact, I've heard clients say after Amy's gone in, is that all we have to do? Do I have to do anything else? I've heard clients say, well, we've got a team of 8 or 16 or 34 running our chatbot. Because Amy's able to learn from what's gone on and produce interesting reports from what's gone on to show us things we couldn't imagine about the conversations, it means that Amy can just start work and just think about what she does and just improve herself towards outcomes. Yes, we have to make refinements. Yes, it's not a perfect technology yet, but compared to anything else on the market, it's effortless and less painful and more fun. Now, why is it more fun? Well, Amy has concepts of empathy. Amy has concepts whereby she can reward us in her conversations. For example, if I was talking to you now, you might say, it's a roaring rampage of revenge. Now, what's a roaring rampage of revenge? The first thing you want to do is ask me a question. That's exactly how Amy works. If you say something to her, she'll ask you a question to make sure she understands what you said and get you closer to the outcome that you wanted.